the police off-the-cuff zone. There has to be some common sense.
They were the ones who called 911 to get him help, and now they're calling for change.
So many people hearing about that Kohberger is complaining in prison about his accommodations, about his food, about how other prisoners are harassing him. I wonder if there's anyone, I'm sure there are the pro-burgers that feel sorry for him, that really want things done. Look, if he's threatening to take his own life, the prison guards, the prison officials, they have to do something about it. They have to protect his miserable life. They can't allow him to take his own life. But I have very little sympathy for this quadruple murderer, confessed quadruple murderer. This is Ashley Banfield from News Nation.
We have been following the predictably rocky start to Brian Kohberger's new life inside Idaho's maximum security prison. The litany of grievances, formal and otherwise, the problems with the food, the problems with the other inmates. And the response has generally been, I'm paraphrasing it here, suck it up, fella, that's prison. And now apparently the quadruple knife murderer is done relying on formal complaints. In lieu of another handwritten grievance, inmate number 163214, as the state of Idaho calls him, is said to be threatening to harm himself unless the guards move him away from those mean prisoners who apparently have been tormenting him. I'm joined once again by Chris McDonough, retired homicide detective and director of the Cold Case Foundation. Okay, Chris McDonough, we knew, I guess it's schadenfreude. I don't care a lick about Brian Kohberger's feelings. I hope he suffers the entire rest of his sentence. I hope prison is worse for him than most prisoners. That's just me, but I think the viewers agree, many of them. But what's the latest? Like, what is he actually complaining about, and what's he saying he's going to do?
So actually, I mean, the last time we talked about him, right, he was complaining about obviously his bananas and his food servicing. And obviously, this guy has not done the math yet, that it's also the inmates in the kitchen that are feeding him simultaneously. So his most recent, claim has been that if he does not get moved out of the J block, then he's going to, quote, harm himself. He's not only said it verbally, but he's put it in writing, which has put a lot of extra pressure on the staff.
I feel like if you complain about the food and the inmates in the kitchen hear about it, you're going to get your eggs with a side of loogie.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
That's a little bit disgusting, but I think she hit it right on the head. Yes, complain to the people who are also inmates in the prison that you're incarcerated in for the rest of your life. Complain to them about your food. Do you think they will give a damn about your food? I think not, But yet, the prison workers, the prison guards, actually the politically correct word for a prison guard now is correctional officer, so I apologize for using the incorrect term. But I'm sure they recognize as their job, they have to keep this quadruple murderer alive, even though I'm sure secretly they wouldn't care. They wouldn't shed any tears if he took his own life. But professionally, they can't allow that to happen. So Kohberger obsesses over his food. A much darker torment is unfolding. He's being held in J Block, a restrictive housing unit designed for maximum isolation, but he's far from alone. Reports from inside the prison describe a relentless campaign of psychological warfare waged by other inmates. The prison's own architecture has become a tool of torture. Inmates have discovered they can scream at him through the interconnected air vents. According to reports, inmates are literally getting up into the grate and yelling at him, taking turns to ensure the harassment is at near constant level. 24-hour chorus of taunts that has severely impacted his ability to sleep. He has reportedly filed 4 more complaints alleging he's being threatened and sexually harassed through the vents. The Idaho Department of Correction has acknowledged his complaints, coolly stating incarcerated individuals commonly communicate with each other in prison. But for Kohberger, this communication is torture that's reportedly driving him crazy. His crimes have made him an outcast even among felons. In the rigid hierarchy of prison, those who victimize people in their sleep are often at the bottom, and he is learning that lesson firsthand. The man who may have fancied himself a criminal mastermind is now just the object of endless contempt, trapped in a concrete box with only the disembodied voices of his tormentors for company. Wow. Is there anyone that's feeling sorry for him at this point? Is there anyone who thinks that he should be staying at the Holiday Inn? I'm sure there's pro-burgers out there that really want this investigated. They really want this corrected. They want these other inmates in this prison to stop taunting this poor guy. Stop taunting this quadruple murderer. Stop annoying him, because everyone deserves the right to sleep. Even people get murdered in their sleep by this man, you know. So everyone deserves their freedom, except people that are convicted of quadruple murders. Of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Zana Knodel, and Ethan Chapin. Maybe they're rolling over in their graves, or they're sitting down and laughing how this quadruple murderer is being treated at this point. Because most fair-minded people, I don't think, really care that Kohberger can't sleep. He's not getting the correct bananas that he likes. Prisoners are yelling through the vents in the prison, tormenting him. I'm certainly not losing any sleep over it. And when he pled guilty, he made no statements. That was the work of a coward. He is a coward. He made no statements to the court. Remember that? And we on this channel blamed the prosecutor for not demanding more for that guilty plea. And now he's in prison, getting tormented, not getting the type of food he wants. And it's so bad. This is Banfield.